Tingu goo 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 goo.
If you feel like I
Tingu!
should
Ah, the fucking ads! At it again! Wrecking me intro!
is.
You fucking bastards! Tingu goo goo goo. Tingu! Right, that's enough of you, you little bitch. Get back over there in your little corner. And take this fucking massive prop with you, you little shit. Massive for him, obviously. Like, you know what I mean? Like, clearly it's not massive for me. It's the size of my fucking hand. Greetings and welcome to another glorious episode of Paintingu. Welcome to Paintingu, brother Brickfingeru, brother Anthony. How are you today? Are you well? Are you well? I hope you're all very well in the realm. Trying to say realm instead of like roll that L. Good luck, like realm instead of realm. Realm. Huh? So far, trying to say blessed as if you're Japanese is currently my favorite. Like, I fear very breast. It's like, did you just say breast, nigga? Yeah, I am breast. Hold on, I extend the chat a bit. There we go. Crushing like a corky? Well, then you're crushing like as hard as possible. You know, if you're crushing like a retard, you're fucking really crushing it. Like, you know. I'm good, thanks. Hope you're where it's spelt WERR on this stream. Get it right. I'm good. Yeah, I have more energy today than I've had recently, and I'm in a better mood. Got a workout in this morning. Fucking I've been up, like I woke up. I didn't wake up that early. I woke up at like 7ish. Had a strong urge to go back to sleep, but I fought it off. You know, I engaged in mental pugilism with my demons, and I was successful. I thwarted them and got up, got ready. Fucking had to go out and get more coffee, and did that. Came back. I was a bit naughty. I grabbed some donuts. It's just when you walk into the shop the first thing in the morning and they're freshly baked, and the smell of freshly baked donuts covered in a strawberry glaze and hundreds and thousands. Like I was just like, give me them. So I got like 6 of them. I was like no, 2 strawberry ones for me, and then just like a sugar one for the missus, and then 2 chocolate ones for the missus, and then a jam filled one for me. A jam filled donut, a freshly baked jam filled donut covered in sugar and all. Like it's just like fucking. It's like biting into a fucking divine fruit or something. Like it's so good. Like, but yes, I am in a much better mood today. I got up after getting the workout in and like not really. I didn't have a cold shower, but like uh, I like briefly stood under the thing while it warmed up. Like so I still got that initial like God Jesus, fuck. Like all that it's like getting winded, like all that like I tense up so much from cold water that all the air leaves my lungs. Like stick on the shower and just it's fucking horrible. But it's good for you. And I always find myself like, I'm not big into the cold shower shit, like especially in the winter. Like I'll do it in the summer and all, like when you're actively hot and like it's not as jarring to the nervous system, especially in the mornings, like because you can fuck yourself up doing that shit. Like I've been like right, I'm gonna do cold showers, like and I'll stick it on first thing in the morning, have a cold shower, and like fucking 3 seconds in, I feel like I'm gonna pass out or some shit. Like I live in Ireland, like do you know what I mean? It's like all these people who are like big into cold showers, they live in California. That's what all of them. They all live in California. Like, dude, get a cold shower. Fuck off. Getting out of bed in the morning is like the equivalent of a cold shower for me, you faggot. But like it is, it's good for you. Like it's a good nervous system regulator. It's a good mood regulator. Because that's what I was going to say. Is like I quite often find myself like just giggling in the shower then, because the initial blast hits you, like, oh Jesus fuck, and then like you control your breathing and shit. Like so you're not just like holding your breath or like seized up or like hyperventilating or whatever, hyperventilating, and I just end up standing there, just going like, because like I find it incredible, as you can quite imagine by my current appearance. Um, I find it very easy to laugh at myself. I was born. I was blessed with I was blessed with an excellent sense of humor, and I find it very easy to laugh at myself. And a cold shower response is one of those things that, like, if you can't laugh at yourself when you respond to a cold shower like response, like that's just fucking like I'm bollock naked, surrounded by see-through glass. Like, how funny is that? Like, like why do they do that? What do you want to see outside the shower? Do you know what I mean? That's clear. Like a perv made that. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I like it when when the female is in the shower and I walk in to take a piss and I just get like a show. Beautiful water, one running water covered in suds and bubbles and stuff like, and I'm just like, damn. Like, but like a man showering. Who wants to see that? Who wants to see my flaccid penis just like flopping about the place while I wipe muck and paint off myself? Nobody wants to see that shit. I don't want to see that shit. And like the container I'm in is see through, and there's a mirror on the wall. One wrong look in my peripherals, and I have to pay that gay away. You know. The shower was clearly invented by a homosexual. I completely agree with Owen. I think having a shower, when I have a shower, I haven't had a bath in years, so that's probably why I completely agree with Owen. Because I used to love taking baths, but then I had to stop taking baths in my old house because I like the bath was too small. I was legit too large to use the bath effectively, and I'm not even that big. I'm 5'11". Like what the fuck? Irish homes are built for midgets. I'm telling you, what's this fucking thing? I do. I detest pop-ups. Yes, happy Thanksgiving, all you American cunts. Happy Thanksgiving. Uh, if you're feeling thankful and you're feeling giving, link in the description. Don't anger Garlos. Like and subscribe, ye cunts. Don't make me. I will take the bucket off, and you will regret it. Nobody wants a tiger set loose, even on the internet. Even a digital tiger is dangerous. Not nunchucking the bad vibes. Good, good. I really want to get a set of nunchucks now. Do you know, I fashioned myself a mace this morning, and I'm actually quite proud of it. I had the thought last night because I have this bar for like it's like it's a basic barbell, but it's one that screws together in different sections. There's three sections, and it's a heavy thing. Like the whole thing weighs about 6 kilos, and so it's about two. It's roughly 2 kilos per section, and that has like grip sections, and it all just like locks into place. It's pretty decent. Like got it in fucking Aldi, like, and it's only like 25. It only came with like 25 kilos or some shit like that. Like, so it's not like I'm lifting heavy. I do want to lift heavy eventually, but like I've such poor posture from all the years of gaming and shit that I'm trying to take stuff in a wise, turtle versus hare approach, where I'm like, I'm fixing my posture and I'm doing calisthenics and I'm like, doing prison workouts like dips and pull ups and shit like that and squats and all like. But for a while there, I was hitting the weights and I've like a twinge like halfway down my spine. And for a while there, we thought I was having like mini heart attacks. But what was actually happening is like there's like a muscle spasm in my back that's like affecting my diaphragm. Mad shit, like really look after your spine health. Do you know what I mean? Like squat daily. Even if you don't squat weight, get yourself into a deep squat on the daily. Brickfinger, you probably know this. You're African, I don't even know if you guys have chairs. So your squatting's probably fine. You probably have a fine arse on you. Me, I'm a white guy. I ain't got no booty. I have no booty. My back just, and I want a big arse because like a big arse is a great foundation for the bottom of your spine, for the lumbar region, like your glutes. One must have strong glutamus maximus to be able to, carry one's weight efficiently. Like, like I have a tendency to do this shit, like, from all the years of gaming. Like, I got a bit of nerd neck going on. Like, thankfully, it's not that bad. I can feel when I'm out of place and stuff. But it actually happened yesterday on the stream. For any of those who are fucking like, sleuthy enough and interested, it happened yesterday on the stream where I got a bit of a spaz attack in my back, and it feels like my heart rate goes up, but that's actually not what's happening. Like that's not what's happening. Because like I went to a chiropractor and all, he was like, "Oh no, that's not your heart." Like because what happens is it starts like like say if like your heart rate is like boom 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 boom, mine goes from that to boom 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 boom, but it's not actually my heart. It's a muscle spasming in between my shoulder blades, and it happened on stream yesterday. And you can see it when it happens. Like me and the female went back and watched it. Like you can see it when it happens. I kind of like lean forward like this a bit, and then it triggers, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I need a drink of water. Had a bit of indigestion there, like So like, and like I was kind of like not proud of myself. Well, I was a little bit like that like because it's a bit jarring when you're like even if there's like two people here, even if there's one person watching me live, I am live on the internet, like and when something physical like that happens, like the immediate reaction is to be like, oh shit, like I need to like it happened before and I wasn't able to stop it. So I had to cancel the stream. I had to like just shut everything down. And immediately on Telegram, like people ringing me and texting me, "Are you okay?" Or like, "Do you have a heart attack? You all right?" Like I had to deal with all that shit, like calming people down and all. Like, but it's nice. It's nice people like being concerned about you and stuff like that. Like, but yeah, I was like kind of proud of myself that I managed to kind of just like deal with it real quick and keep streaming. Um, but like like stuff like that, like you need to like, and I think I've dealt with it well. I tend not to panic. Don't ever panic when you feel something going wrong with your body. Like I've like passed out before and had a hernia and stuff like that, lost consciousness because I cut the blood off to my fucking blood supply off to my head and shit, and like mad stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I've had mad random things just happen to my body, like completely out of my control. And the thought that I always run with is like, if God wants me dead, like, fair enough, like, do you know what I mean? But like, it's always like, it's not going to be today. Like, I always have this like feeling of like, nah, doesn't feel like it's going to be today, like, and it's like, I've never had like a genuine health problem. like a fucking heart attack or any of these things. I mean, I just turned 32. If I had any like genuine health problems, it's like my diet and my posture are a hell of a lot worse than I thought they were. But thankfully, like I actually seem to be like, despite my degenerate behavior over the past fucking 10 odd years, I've actually managed to maintain uh, a modicum of athleticism and health. But your spine, that's the point I was getting to. You really, 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 above all other things, spinal health is so important. Um, the jam ones are tops. I completely agree. Jam donuts are my favorite kind of donuts. And a close second is anything glazed in anything strawberry. I can't breathe in cold showers. It's really fucking. It's hard. Like you seize up and shit. Like, but it's funny. It's like you see that you've probably seen that clip that fucking Owen brought up on stream lately, where it's this dude teaching you how to survive like falling through ice and like falling into cold water and shit. Just like many things in life, like and what I'm talking about as well, the whole spinal health thing. Healthy breathing techniques and like meditation and stuff like that, and like deep healthy breathing, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and all this stuff, like, and you're like controlling your diaphragm, is also another way to like really get the muscle fibers in your back and your abdomen and like all that stuff like that surrounding your spine, like open all the blood vessels and the nerve endings and shit like that. Like it's important to breathe well. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people, like you hear the term mouth breather. A lot of people can't breathe through their nose properly. Thankfully, like most of the time, I can. I have a nice big Roman nose, so I can generally breathe well through my nose, but quickly because I smoke. If like one of the workouts I do every few days is I get those kettlebells that I have and just like walk up and down the stairs with them multiple times, just like chop wood, carry water. Um, and like very quickly, I can't breathe through my nose, because it's all like stuffy and shit, and I get all like mucusy and stuff. But once I like blow my nose and clear all that shit out, I'm fine. But like, you have a lot of people these days who like, and your spine has a lot to do with it. Your like how your skull is positioned on your neck and stuff like that, like, and your chest, and like if you breathe through your belly rather than your upper chest and stuff like that. Like, there's like yoga things about that and all as well. But it's a very common issue. You have all these people with like that suffer from like sleep apnea and stuff like that, and like like I have a bit of that. Like like I have like dark circles under my eyes and stuff because like I do sleep, but I obviously still have like I probably like I think I do snore quite loudly, but thankfully the female snores like a fucking freight train in her own right. So like she's never disturbed in her sleep by me generally. But it's one of those fundamental important things. Spinal health, and then like your breathing is so important. Um, is that Otto? Yeah, it is, yeah, because I remember being like, Otto von Tistiku was here, and then I didn't know if you wanted me to call you that or not because you're showing up as the way some people are like, like on this social website, I am this, on this social network, I am this, on this, like, like all the different usernames. I'm a bit of a fucking, oh yeah. Um, I think there's another one coming. I think it's on the way. I'm a bit of a fool when it comes to stuff like that because I just care. I just don't give a fuck. I just don't care. But like sometimes I should care. Like even on the stream yesterday, I was just like, like I potentially doxed myself by like, put in like information while I'm sharing the screen and shit like that. Like, and I just like I couldn't give a fuck. Like, and then the missus is like, you shouldn't be doing stuff like that. Like they could hack you and find stuff out. And I'm like, who's gonna hack me? What are they gonna hack me for? Like, what are they gonna do? Like, do you know what I mean? Oh no, my account has to be like, I have to make a new account. Like, whatever. Like, couldn't give a bollocks. Watch, I'll fucking give a bollocks when it happens, probably. I was a gymnast in my childhood. Now I'm hunchbacked. You see, that's another thing though. Is like I wasn't a gymnast, but I was like a pretty like I was a fairly good kickboxer. Like like above average. And I did it for a few years, and like I wasn't a black belt or anything. Like I barely got me white belt, um, but I was doing it a while, and I was quite good at it. Like, and I enjoyed sparring. Um, when I was doing the kickboxing, I was like very flexible. Like I could like easily kick you in the head and kick above my head and do crescent kicks and hook kicks and flying spinning kicks and all this shit. But I moved from that to Muay Thai, and it wasn't like traditional Muay Thai. It was Thai boxing. It was like a mashup of kickboxing and Muay Thai and boxing and so on and so forth. Like, and that actually made me much stiffer. And then I went from that to I think I did Kempo for a while, which made me even stiffer because that was focused on throws and like hand fighting. Um, did a bit of knife training and shit, very basic stuff. Lots of fun though. But I found that like because I did martial arts young and like you're regularly stretching and regularly doing all this stuff, and then you stop doing it for years, and you're just like boxing with your mates in the back garden, and like the rest of the time you're just sitting down playing video games. When I went to like do the splits, it felt like I was tearing the inside of my legs open. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's weird how your muscles and your fascia and your bones react to different stimulus. So like, if you like do something for a while and then stop is almost worse than never doing it in the first place because your body like acclimates, your body gets used to what you're doing to it, so it changes its physiognomy. And then if you stop with that stimulus, it's almost like it fucking it like degenerates into this thing that's worse than it was if you never did it. Like, it's weird. Like I'm really enjoying getting back into stuff now. That's what, like, when I made the mace this morning, I took, like I was saying, the barbell is like, three parts. I screwed one of the parts off, and then used two of the weight locks to put out like just a 1 kilo weight on the end of a bar that's like a foot and a half, maybe a foot and a third, right? And man, me fucking shoulders and arms and forearms, like just holding, say it's about like, so if my hand is like here, right? The thing comes to about there, right? And I'm holding out fully extended, keeping my frame straight, my waist and shoulders like in alignment, and just holding it out in front of me. And fucking hell, like not even 30 seconds of just a kilo. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't sound like a lot, like, but it fucking is. Like, I basically made like a miniature Thor's hammer and just like holding that thing out and then like switching arms and holding out and then like doing all those like Indian mace exercises with your shoulders and stuff. Like your fucking traps and your shoulders and all just like open up immediately. Like, and then trying to swing that thing if you were gonna fight somebody with it. Like, do you know what I mean? The fucking control you have to have in your entire core strength, like your center, your shoulders, your pecs, your back, yeah, and in your feet to grip the ground in order to be able to swing just a kilogram on the end of a fulcrum that's not even that big. Like, do you know what I mean? It's only about a foot and maybe a foot and a half, foot and a third. And like the power you have to have just to be able to fucking swing that and like stop it and then swing it to the other side and stop it. Like, that's why that lad, like, in the UFC, well, he's not. I don't think he's in the UFC anymore. He boxed Tyson. Francis Ngannou. Everybody's been going on about like how much of a fucking like athletic freak that guy is, and it's like, what did he do for years? He's just with a shovel, sand, just in a sand mine, in a dirt mine, just with a fucking shovel, just all day, nigga, all day, just swinging weight, just tossing weight, like, like, and look at the fucking specimen of physicality he is, like, do you know what I mean? It's fucking. I've seen lads like on that, like, on TikTok, like that all the time. These like fucking African lads who are black as fucking the ace of spades, like, do you know what I mean? And they're just all day, nigga, all day, just fucking shoveling sand, like, and they're fucking ripped. Their backs and their upper body, like, is in like perfect alignment and all because like all the fucking muscles, like, do you know what I mean? Like, imagine how good them niggas would be at golf. Do you know what I mean? Like, Mbongwe, hit that ball, boom, like, gone, like, oh. I fuck it. Like I love talking about like physical shit. Like um, smoking and drinking and girls took me down. Oh well, yeah. Like a fucking. It's like that's most dudes, man. Like the most tempting thing to a bloke is like like a beautiful female who's like showing interest in you and shit like that. Like, it's like I was only saying this to my female there the other day. I was like I want her physically now after over a decade. I still feel the same way like about her. Do you know what I mean? It's like because you hear, when I was growing up, you hear stuff like, oh, same old pussy, these married guys who are like sick of their misses and they want something new and exciting. I seriously find her more like just as, if not more exciting sexually now after 10 odd years. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm in me fucking like 70s or something and I'll still look at her and just be like, oh, come here to me, you. Like, like, I think that's what a man is supposed to be like. Like, I think a man is supposed to, like, you're supposed to be this testosterone giga chad well into like your 80s and 90s. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not supposed to be this like slow drop off and you get thin and like your hair goes white and your posture gets all horrible and all this fucking shit. That's not supposed to be what it is. Like, I think you're supposed to be lifting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier weights till like, like, do you need to see all the fucking Greek gods, the depiction of Greek gods? You have these dudes who are like, really fucking old and they're still like huge and shit. Like the way most people are in terms of like their bodies and fitness levels and their mind, like their mindset and shit like that. Like, we really could be like gods like at least compared to the way we are now. Most of us, we could be fucking absolute giga chads, like, and without all of this like supplemental protein bollocks. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't do any of that shit. No creatine, no fucking. I just eat clean as much as possible. And I've been doing this for a while now. Every 48 hours, I'll do like an intense workout, And like, it doesn't have to, like, what's an intense workout? An intense workout is something that you personally struggle to do. That's it, You got to struggle, Like, if you're doing it really, like, if you get a sweat going and your muscles are sore, but it's like absolutely no bother to you to do all your stuff, then that's not good enough. Like, you need to like get those reps in where like you're like struggling and shaking and shit, like, especially with legs. You need to make your legs like, fucking shake with the amount of fucking stuff you're doing to them. Like, Deirdre of the Sorrows, welcome to PEINTEINGU. You honor us with your presence. Uh, her hernias, oh my god, yeah, man, hernias suck. That's what made me pass out that time. I got a gastric hernia in the center of my abdomen, and it like poked out, and whatever it put pressure on, like you have like you've some of the main arteries like running down here and shit, and it like put pressure on one of my main arteries, and it cut off the blood supply to my head and made me pass out, and I was just like starfished on the bed, and I woke up to Wishy just being over me, being like, "Alex, are you okay?" And I woke up and I looked down and I saw the little bump in my chest. I was like, oh no, fuck. Like, I knew immediately what it was. Like, because I got a hernia when I was 8. 8. I remember like the surgeons and the fucking doctors being like, how did you get a hernia at 8 years old? Like, mad stuff. I think I just had like a defect in my abdominal wall or whatever. Like, but like, man, I've had some mad health shit. Like, I think it just comes with being a ginge, We're just cursed. Um, Sexercise yourself to health. Man, sex is really good for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know, like, I agree with pretty much most of the stuff that, like, like somebody like Owen would say, or himself says, in terms of like, all this degenerate behavior and sodomy and all that crap. Like, like I agree with that stuff. But like, I'd be more like Indian, like Kama Sutra Indian about like, like I don't see oral sex as like this mad like degenerate thing, because like we kiss using our lips. Like, the mouth is a very sensual, sensitive area as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that, like how we show compassion in, in the first place. You don't immediately bang. One of the first things that we generally do is kiss each other, so there is a sexual element to the mouth, so I think that's a logical inconsistency there, however, I do agree that in today's society, most if not all sexual shit in the public is utterly degenerate, it's way too full on, it's graphic and gratuitous, and shit, but I think there's supposed to be a way, because when you look at stuff like the Bach saga and all, where if you're eugenically designing your species, do you know what I mean? Then you're going to become very proficient at sex. Sex is going to be like an art form. Do you know, I think that's what sex is supposed to be like between a man and a woman in a couple, in a monogamous couple. You're supposed to it's like an art that creates life. You're just like we'd look at a fight between two people who are really proficient at fighting. The thing that people generally admire is the skill level, you know, and then tenacity and personality traits, the heart and stuff like that. So with making love or having sex, it's very similar. There's a dance, there's jabs thrown, and then there's then there's the building and building and then the climax, In fighting, it's somebody getting knocked out or submitted or the fight coming to an end, but they're still throwing down. In sex, it's the female has an orgasm, or or they both have an orgasm. There's an end to the not necessarily conflict, but one could describe it as a form of conflict. The male energy and the female energy meeting and doing all and wrestling with each other, I find stuff like that fascinating because I'm very analytical. I've a really my ability to hypothesize is quite good because my imagination is so vivid. But that's where people can look at somebody like me and be like, "What the fuck do you think about everything?" That's what I think. I think about everything, like to the degree. Do you know what I mean? Which a lot of the time can't you can't do that all the time. Do you know what I mean? If you get down in the weeds with shit all the time, then you have no meta perspective, which is funny because one of my favorite perspectives is having a meta perspective, because that's God's perspective, isn't it? Or what we imagine it to be. Um, you still look mint. How old are you, bro? I just turned 32, and describing me as mint is actually quite a compliment because I think I look like shit, at least lately anyway. I really think I look like shit. I'm ripped. Do you know what I mean? I am. I'm quite ripped. But I'm not big. I'm not slender. I've described myself before as being like the Wish version of One Punch Mickey from fucking Snatch. I look strong and fast and shit, and I am strong and fast. But my cardio sucks. My posture's off. Some of my muscles are kind of atrophied, like my glutes. Um, I used to have savage kicks, and now I can barely kick at all. It's one of the reasons why I want to get a heavy bag out the back garden. Just want to be able to fucking lay into that thing all day. I'm still in kind of a recovery period, though. I'm building back up from where I was. Um, being supple at 48 is a pipe dream for me. Yeah, you see, that's incorrect. I swear to God, man. I've seen people with all sorts of mad injuries, all sorts of shit. You should check out yoga, tai chi, qigong. Forget the gym shit. Forget the oh, do this exercise with a low compound weight to fucking fix these problems. Forget all that crap. Do what I was saying earlier, or just get yourself into a squat position for as long as you can every day. 3 minutes a day. Build it up over time. You know what I mean? Fucking uh put yourself up against something with your legs out, sit like a baby. Just sit on the floor on your arse like a baby would with your legs out, and then put your feet up against something flat and pull yourself towards it and force your legs out and shit. Fucking there's all sorts of things. It's painful. It is painful. Do you know what I mean? But no pain, no gain. Doesn't matter how old you are. It really does. I've seen 90-year-old females fucking crushing it, and they only started doing stuff like that when they got into their 60s. Do you know what I mean? It's all about this. It's all about that shit. Your first issue is telling you that you can't. It's a pipe dream. you've immediately defeated yourself. Like, do you know what I mean? That's how all this shit works. All the problems in the fucking realm is us because we're letting the demons in our head win. We're saying things that aren't true and stuff like that. Like, you'd be like in the next 3 fucking years, if you really worked hard at it, you could totally put yourself into a brilliant position physically, or at least one way better than you currently are. I'm 57, bro. It's never too late. It's never too fucking late. Stretching is a unique pain. It is. It fucking hurts. It fucking hurts, man. Try fucking like isometrics as well. When I'm doing the qigong and I'm just like you get like it's not even like a deep horse stance where like your fucking legs, your thighs are parallel to the floor. It wouldn't even be like that. It'd be like a much steeper angle, and you just kind of like sit a bit and just put your arms out you know, and just stay like that for as long as you can. Man, in about 5 minutes, you're going to be moving and shaking, and your arms are going to want to come back here because your shoulders are getting sore and all that shit. But if you just stick with it, like I've been doing qigong for like 4 or 5 years now, and there's still some of the positions I can't even do for long periods of time. But I've gotten myself into a position where I can fucking like do a kind of a half horse stance. And I could do that for nearly like 40 minutes. And I'd be just like tore and sweat by the end of it, And like shit, like Bruce Lee used to do stuff like that where you just like hold something or like or press against a weight. And instead of doing reps, you just hold it. Just hold it for as long as you can. And it's so fucking painful sometimes. But the pain no, there are multiple there's different stages of pain. There's the type of pain like if you have a shoulder issue or like a hip problem or something like that that's quite bad and debilitating, and you try to do some of this stuff, it could hit and you'd be like, ah! And like you'll fall over. And that just means you need to build up to it. You need to make the muscles around the problem stronger so they can support the muscle with the problem or the joint with the problem, I know I sound like I'm fucking. I kind of am like preaching and shit, but it's like it's from when you start doing something for yourself and you're like, oh my god, this really works. I must tell the world. Like that's how I feel about painting. That's how I feel about like martial arts and all this stuff. Is like I think a craft, a physical mental craft like blacksmithing, pottery making, leather drawing, painting, fucking swordsmanship, like any of that stuff, and then physical activity and discipline and all that. Like that's what men are missing in particular. Women too, to a degree, but men, big style, are missing like that Spartan esque of like get up and fight. Oh, but I'm sore. Like my hand, my finger is broken. My fucking knee is out of. Get up and swing, you coward! Like you need that. And I'm not saying like wreck yourself because it's not good to do that. Don't train every day. Don't train really hard all the time. Do you know what I mean? But like once a month, wreck yourself. Like it's good for you. Like do you know what I mean? Like you find that point where like your point of failure is probably way further or closer than you think. Depending on what you're doing. I like horse stance is one of the best fundamentals. If you could hold horse stance for 60 seconds, a deep horse stance where your fucking thighs are parallel to the ground and your hands are extended. It's called Mabu in like Shaolin or whatever. If you can hold that for 60 seconds, 60 seconds is a really good baseline for that shit because it's an intense thing to do if you're not used to doing it. Uh, like a lot of these things, if you just start, like if you just start them and you try and like do them like really intensely, you're just gonna fuck yourself up like I did. And I wasn't even doing like big weights. I was just doing like weights. Uh, Tiger Woods, yeah, like fucking. Um, Dang man, sounds heavy. What you mean, like the heart stuff or whatever? Like it's like, yeah, yeah, sometimes I do get a bit down where I'm like, oh, I'm not even 40 and I have all these like issues with my body and shit. But I just see it as like like I see it as like challenges. Like, I'm like, am I gonna fold and be a bitch, or like, am I gonna let this like get me down? And sometimes I do. I get days where I'm just like, not today. But most of the time, I'm like, not today, demons. Like, fucking dips, pull ups. Fuck you. Like, and that's what most guys are missing, I think. Like, you're never gonna see that kind of mentality in these beta male cooks. Like, okay, my love. Like, like that shit. Like, you're never gonna see that kind of like fucking, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm here. Kill me. No, do it. Kill me now. I'm right here. Do it. Like, that's what you fucking need. Like, uh, just need to get through this mental wall. Yeah, like, like, man, most of your problems, if not all of them, are all in your fucking head. Uh, Greetings from Galway. Painting's coming on nicely. Why, thank you. Yeah, it looks all right, doesn't it? Kind of looks check. The bulbous, spiky things um, are looking very well. Stunt's a Greek god in his own mirror. Oh, stop that! I fucking love Stunt. He's so fucking funny with his like his tan and his chubby cheeks and his fucking like fucking blonde fringe and shit. Like, fucking brilliant. Like, it was so funny. Me and Wishy were laughing about it, right? When they were here at the party over the weekend, there was he has all of his hair like combed into this like thing, um. And it's not because he has a bald spot or anything. It's just his style. Like, do you know what I mean? He actually has like really thick, healthy looking hair. Despite dying it all the time. But he was sitting on the chair in the kitchen, like, do you know what I mean? He had the chair backwards and he was sitting like this and all, and he was talking away, like, and there was just a single strand of hair at the back of his like little fridge thing that was going the opposite way, and it looked like a little rat's tail at the back of his head. And like nobody said anything like at the time, but later that night or like the following day when me and Wishy were in bed talking about stuff, the two of us were just in bits laughing because she turned around like it was like, oh yeah, when he was talking and sitting in the kitchen, I noticed that this strand of hair was like flicking out at the back, and I was like, "Did you see that too?" And she was like, "Yeah." Oh, we had a good fucking laugh about it. It was brilliant. Like, he's gas. I love Stuntman. He fucking crushes hard, despite being a glaring faggot in many ways. Fucking watching 90210 with his missus, like, oh my god, lad, like. But he's really cool. He's really cool. He's got a great sense of humor. He's like he's got balls of solid rock. That chap has, like you need balls like to fucking drive cars into walls for a living. Like, do you know what I mean? Like he's broken his back and all that. Like that dude, that dude would fucking stare down a bleeding bear or something. Like, he's just got balls for days. Like, I love him, and his videos are really cool. I'd say he's going to get back to doing them, but his first couple of videos on YouTube about he does breakdowns of car chases in movies. Brilliant. They're really good. Like, um, hernia strangulation can be lethal. Yeah, did you ever see the fucking show A Thousand Ways to Die? There was an episode of A Thousand Ways to Die where a guy was playing baseball and big belly. What wasn't particularly healthy, drank a lot, very gaseous, like um he popped a hernia. He got a hernia in his belly, like somewhere in his groin or his abdomen, like the middle of the stomach, off to the side. And he did what a lot of people do, which I think is fucking insane. But he just like pushed it back in and he was like, "Oh, I'm fine." And then he was on the plate. It was him up next, and he swung, like swung to like hit the back fence and tore open the whole thing and bled to death on the field. Now I know that's not what you're saying. It's not strangulation. Like that stuff happens too, but like there's all sorts of things that can happen with them. Do you know what I mean? Like expansion, tearing, all this crap. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like they can be quite dangerous. Like it was it affected me mentally because I wanted to get into MMA at the time. I wanted to be a fighter, and then that happened, and it was like a sign from God. It was like you're not going to be a fighter. Like you know what I mean? Like shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down, and paint pretty pictures, please. It depressed the fuck out of me, like because I was like, I know I can take a hit and all. Like do you know what I mean? Like I'm one of those guys that like I get like bruised and cut real easy, but like it's real hard to knock me out. And it pissed me off so much because I was like, I know I can take, like, I know I have a good chin and all, like, do you know what I mean? But it doesn't matter now because if somebody hits me in the stomach, I'm fucked. Like, shit like that affects me. Like, and I'd say I'm not the only guy. Like, you know, like when you're with your missus and like you have an injury or something, like, stuff go through your mind where it's like, you know, if we go out drinking and some guy tries to rob us, I'm going to be useless. Like, I think about stuff like that all the time. Like I'm always in a like, you know, I must be ready to act violently, you know, defend my princess from any threats, you know. And then like you pull something to your shoulder or your back, and you're like, oh, you can't even stand in front of the sink and make a coffee for a week. And I'm always like, if they attack me now, I'm dead. like. Like I'm a king, you know, like that lives in a place that is like regularly, you know, sieged or some shit. Like, you know, I've never been in a street fight, and I think this stuff. Do you know what I mean? Where I'm like, I need to be ready. like, it's so funny. Like, I need to be ready at all times. Uh, Defender Bear doesn't just think of Rome, but everything. How often do you think of Rome? Fucking, I think like I'm constant. Man, my mind goes places like and enjoys it. My mind loves going on adventures. Can't you tell? I need more water. I had 3 cups of very powerful coffee. It's probably one of the reasons I'm in such a good mood today. Like I've just like fucking like probably a liter and a half of coffee, like in total. 3 big mugs, like do you know what I mean? Like not a normal cup, and it's like 6 out of 10 strength or something. Like do you know what I mean? I'm fucking wired, like, and I can feel it. I need to piss like a racehorse again. Like, uh, qigong. I heard good things. Yeah, man. It's what the Shaolin lads do. You know, when they're not like punching things and doing all the katas and like jumping kicks and all that shit. That's what they do. That fucking like feet apart, bend the knees, and just like hold. And he'd be there for like 10 minutes, and then it's like hold again. You know, like, and he'd be there doing it for maybe like an hour, hour and a half, like, and you're just doing real slow shit, and it's all about like you know pushing open the blood vessels and like you know putting your correcting your posture and like you know fucking there's part like I guarantee you that like you know you go around to your average person and you get them to like tense and stretch and move all of the like you know, especially your toes. Like Westerners have shit feet, me included. Like you know, like my big toes turn in a little bit because like, we wear shoes so much. We don't walk around in our bare feet. We don't squat. All these things, and like all your organs are connected to nerves in your feet and shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's so like fuck surgery, fuck pills and like pharmaceutical medicine. Get yourself outside in your bare feet if it's like if the weather permitting, because you don't want to fucking freeze and shit, like you know. But get yourself outside in your bare feet in the grass and the dirt, and do some fucking tai chi. You'll feel amazing after it. Like, do you know what I mean? If you can't get out in the dirt, like, and it's like here, like it's cold and wet, and 15 minutes outside, you fucking risk pneumonia if you're like out in your bare feet, like, you know. But that's what Irish people used to be. That's what Irish people are supposed to be like. Irish people are supposed to be like hobbits. You know, you're supposed to be able to like be out in a fucking like just your bare feet in a pair of trousers and a short, and it's like 5 degrees, like, and you're fine. Do you know what I mean? We're supposed to be like that. Um, all the world's problems are because of hydration. Yeah, like people don't drink enough water, all that crap. Like, preach, nigga. Facts. We have jobs and shit. We need a mastery, not a job. Yeah, like fucking all this shit of like, why don't you get a real job? Shut your mouth, slave. Like that's the first thing that pops into my head is when someone's like, oh, why don't you get a real job? It's just shut your fucking mouth, slave. Like just because you don't have any ambition, any self-respect, any determination, any fucking like any of these things, like do you know what I mean? That like you fucking need to be like, "Do you know what? Fuck this job. I'm gonna fucking make something. Like it's like it just because in countries like mine where people like me can be like, fuck this crap. I'm gonna take the fucking grants and the free money from the government and do something else. Like, you know what I mean? That makes me a bum. That makes me a scumbag. Like that's what people say. Oh, look at you taking free money. It's like I would rather get handed fuck all and try and do something with it than break my back for people that don't care in an environment that doesn't do anyone any good, you know, for reasons that are purely materialistic. It's like, well, why do you have that job? Oh, it's good money. It's not a reason to do something. That is not an honorable, moral reason to do something. Have people forgotten this? Why are you doing it? For the money. That's a shit reason to do something. For the money. Do it because you love it. Do it because it brings you joy. Do it because it brings other people joy. Do it because it helps people. Do it because it inspires people. Do it because it works. Like, do you know what I mean? Build something, move something, make something. Like, even if you're destroying something, do you know what I mean? Like, how do you think people get fucking gravel for shit? Like, do you know what I mean? Get a fucking sledgehammer and break some boulders. That like that's it may not seem constructive, it may seem destructive, but it has a use at least. You know, I'd rather be swinging a fucking pickaxe and a sledgehammer wearing black and white with a ball and chain on my ankle, knowing that I'm like doing some honest fucking work and getting paid fuck all, or not getting paid at all, just getting handed three hots and a cot. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck that. Like, there's a reason a lot of people just end up in prison. You know? A lot of them have more self respect than the people who have jobs. Nigga, you think I'm gonna work for some bitch who tell me what to do? Fuck you! Do you know what I mean? Like, granted, you could go the negative end of that, where it's like, you're a fucking egotistical narcissist who thinks you're fucking God and all that shit, and you're not gonna listen to anyone. But there's a fucking middle ground where it's like, most people, most jobs, like, it's not even called work anymore. It's called a job. Fuck is a job? The only fucking jobs I know are fucking blow jobs and hand jobs. So what kind of fucking job have you got? Why did you get a real job? Fuck you, slave. Like fucking like. The only reason most people have fucking most jobs is because they can't do shit. You know, they're not good enough at anything to make money doing it. I'm good enough at this to that people pay me for it. Not a lot, not yet, but I've only been doing it 3 fucking years. Let's see what happens 7 years from now when I've been doing this a decade. I'm telling you something now. I'm going to be way ahead of all these people who have fucking real jobs. It's the fucking truth. So I love this bear community. Like, you know, obviously there's some bad eggs in any fucking group, and the fucking bears have had like plenty of fucking transgressions from psychopaths, just like we would in Babylon, like, you know. But overall, bunch of fucking legends just trying to fucking have fun, have a good sense of humor about life, and fucking make some shit, do some shit, you know. Fucking absolutely disgraceful behavior out of most people, like, you know. He's fucking like, imagine looking at someone like Owen, the shit he's done, the decisions he's made. Like, never mind some fucking. I'm a like random ass nobody for the moment, you know. And imagine looking at someone like Owen and being like, "Why don't you get a real job?" Imagine the level of stupidity, ignorance, and like probably envy and jealousy in a person like that to be like looking at someone like Owen being like, oh, when do you get a real job? Look at you begging for money on the internet. Like, what a fucking lousy frame of mind to be in. Do you know what I mean? Instead of looking at your fellow man being like the rest of us do, being like, do you know what? Good on you. Fair fucking play to you. You know? It's ridiculous. No wonder most people are fucking downtrodden and depressed. Most people are assholes. Hold the breath, not the pocket. Oh my god, that's a t-shirt waiting to happen. Hold the breath, not the pocket. That's fucking brilliant. Yeah, master something. Or at least attempt to master something, you know? Like everyone, male, female, the first thing that anyone is supposed to master is yourself. That's what your parents are supposed to be for. Your parents are supposed to instill the knowledge and the wisdom in you to master yourself so that you can master your environment, you know? Fuck all people like that these days, you know? And it's not necessarily their fault, like, do you know what I mean? I used to blame my parents for all this fucking shit. They got divorced. Two of them were losers that, like, they're fucking totally bought into most shit, if not, like, all the shit. But I'm grateful. And I'm grateful that I'm grateful. I'm blessed and grateful that I've come to the conclusion that it is the logical thing to do to forgive and forget and move on and all these fucking things. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it was like last year at some point, I rang my father up, floods of tears. And I was like, I don't hate you. I don't hate you. Do you know what I mean? I think you're a fucking idiot, but I don't hate you. Like, and like, it didn't make much of a difference to him. Like, still didn't speak to me for ages. Like, but it made the world of difference to me. Being like, what's the point in hating him? You know? And then my sister's going through a load of shit. She's like 9 years younger than me. She's going through a load of shit now that I've kind of already experienced. She's very stressed and she's very bitter about a lot of stuff, like, And I'm like, just take it easy, just do your best, like, because that's all you can do. All you can do is do your best, you know. Most people don't even try and do that. Like, I'm guilty of this. Amount of things in my life I've half-assed, pain, suffering, trauma, having the time to heal. Like most people are distracted because they haven't had the time to heal. I've been blessed the last few years with the time to heal and like the perspective you gain while you're just like witnessing instead of being in it, trying to make decisions based on fear and doubt and anger and all these fucking, you know, really overpowering and overstimulating emotions. Just reel it all back and take a wide field of view on everything, including yourself. That was one of the big things I learned was like that I could view myself from a third person perspective, like you're playing a video game. Like disconnect your ego a bit. It's hard to do, but like especially with an ego like mine. But like when you do it, that's what like I've like looked at myself almost through a prism, and there's like different versions of me in my head, and we argue with each other. You know, there's like the stalwart me, and the patient me, and the stoic me. But then there's the little bitch me, and the angry me, and the fucking like that movie about the girl with all the emotions in her head. Like, do you know what I mean? That little Disney flick. I don't remember much about it. I fucking remember watching it with my sister years ago when it came out. Like, but it's like it is like that. You have all these like aspects of you, and that's why asking like who am I is a very profound question. Like from what I've come to know, from what I've come to experience, I believe I are the culmination of all parts of you. You aren't one thing. You are the one and the many. You know You like there's an angry you, a sad you, a depressed you. You behave differently when in different modalities of thought, in different emotions, and that's why it's so important, particularly for males. That's why I love all the Shaolin stuff. It's like it's all about discipline. It's all about like making the water still so that it's clear, clarity of thought, clarity of action, so many people, myself included, for years, like, it's like you're so muddied. It's so foggy and unclear. And you're making decisions based on fear and anger and all this shit. But when you return to center and you like have a clear view of the battlefield before you, it's much easier to make strategic decisions and then slowly remove the emotion from them. But that doesn't mean you become a cold, heartless prick. If anything, it means you feel them more because you have to feel them and let them go, you know? And that's like way harder to do than just like feel it and stick with it. You like feel it and then like let it go like a dove out a window or some shit. Like that's really difficult. Like I'm still struggling with that shit. I still get pissed off and want to put my fucking head through a wall. Then I'm like wrangling in my head, like I'm like wrangling a demon in my mind. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but it's not a demon. It's me. It's the angry me. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's why I think the whole parasite theory that I was speculating upon recently is like fascinating because like it brings up this question of personal responsibility and the morals and shit. Like, are we infested by demons or are we the demons? You know, fascinating. Rogan alignment. Rogan alignment. My mom did reflexology. Um, yeah, fucking my auntie did that. My aunt did that. My dad's sister. Reflexology and a thing called Reiki and stuff with all the crystals and shit. Some of it really does work. Your nervous system is very sensitive, you know, and you like it like it's connected to your like your spine, your nervous system. It's all making attempts to reset your nervous system to base. You know, really important. You can do shit like that physically. That fucking position where like like lie with your back flat on the floor and put your legs up on a bed or a chair, raise your knees above your above the waistline and all, um taking all the weight off your spine and allowing the blood to flow back into your torso and shit. There's loads of ways to do stuff like that, like it's basically the recovery position, like but like it's cold showers, plenty of water, all this shit. Like, and just most people are just enamored by like all this shit. Uh, I said that in stream. The hobbits are Irish. We are like seriously like, the fucking like the first fucking time I watched Lord of the Rings, I was like, that's like supposed to be Ireland. Like, what the fuck? Like, they're so Irish. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when you see the Shire and Hobbiton and like all of them like drinking and like big pig on a fire spit and all this like really wholesome agrarian fucking like old school stuff. Like, yeah, very Irish. Like the epitome of Irish. Like fucking any county in Ireland like 300 years ago, easily. Like, and that's one of the things I love about being Irish is like we have this culture that is just like so fucking strong that like it's actually been like just annihilated by various things. Like it's you can tell your culture is worth keeping when people are making such active efforts to like corrupt it and like fuck it up and all. Like, uh, shush, peasant. What was that Owen Benjamin bit with the fucking the you brought it up again there recently? Fucking shut up, sodomite! Shut up, sodomite! Let her crush. She's naming them. That's still one of my favorite bits. Fuck it, you're crushing! Shut up, sodomite! Shut the fuck up! I love that one. It's so fucking funny. Uh, Here, fucking Jube. Yeah, love it. Top rant. Yeah, I'm in a ranty mood today. It's probably because I'm trying to hold this piss as well. Like I'm gonna stick on tunes, and then I'm gonna go uh take a leak. The coffee is like the coffee's fucking me over right now. Don't worry, I'll continue ranting when I return, but I have to find this fucking tune now. The amount of times I've had to rearrange the fucking like the properties of my stream and where everything is and how I do stuff, but I'm like going from doing stuff on the phone with like a fucking Bluetooth speaker and shit. And now the mic on this laptop won't pick that up, so I have to fucking it's mad, like absolutely crazy, like all this fucking shit. Where's the stuff? Right. Itetsu Hayashi. That's what I'm looking for. Itetsu Hayashi. There we go. What's this now? There we go. Yeah. Right. Hopefully that's playing. I'll be back in a moment. Newman, I have drained the dragon. I think I did it just in time. Paintingu! 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 Painting you! Painting me! It's Paintingu! Paintingu! Painting you! Painting me! It's Paintingu! Let's fucking go! Oh. I hope the tunes are actually playing. And it's not like yesterday where like I was doing all this shit to silence yesterday. It's fucking hilarious. This is going to be a great cult. I'm so enthusiastic about the cult-like properties of this. Oh, shite. Every time I click on certain things, it like clicks out with the other thing. Fucking things. Fuck's sake. Mastering those demon voices. Indeed. No, I'm just trying to hear the voice. I'm just trying. I can't hear my demons lately. Must be something wrong. Suffering equals experience. Make suffering meaningful. As far as possible. Indeed. Some suffering is necessary. The suffering of innocence is so harsh. Makes me wonder about this place. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, you say that, and like, initially you would agree with that statement. Like, fucking. But how do you know that someone is innocent? Do you know what I mean? That's where you get into the whole God fucking perception of things. It's like, um, how, like, that's why it makes sense with kids is like like the chances that a child is wholly innocent is like almost 100% because they don't understand their environment to the degree that we understand it as adults. And like I say that I still feel like a child half the time, but like once you like that's why ignorance is fascinating, right? Do you know what I mean? It's like if you don't know something, if you don't know the parameters of the situation and you behave in a way that the other people in the situation are like, oh my God, what the fuck? And you're like, oh shit, I did something wrong. And like, you're genuinely like apologetic and you're like, I didn't know, I'm so sorry. People quickly forgive you and they're like, look, he didn't know, like, it's not his fault. Like, do you know what I mean? A lot of people will still be mad at you because you did the thing. But when they genuinely believe you that you didn't know or whatever like that, there's this huge difference. That's where the malevolence comes in is like when people it's like when people know that you knew before you did the thing, it's like I know that you knew what you were doing, like that's the difference. It's like knowledge is power. With power comes responsibility, so if you have all this knowledge and you have all this power, that's why I think all of these like grand manipulators, all these bad guys or whatever, like they fucked up. Their arrogance has been their downfall. I'm sure it's happened like throughout history. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like when you're that powerful, when you're that like self-absorbed and shit. Like, it's like, but at the same time, you're not taking responsibility for anything. You're just like using raw power and fuck the consequences. Like it's like a firework. It's pretty and stuff, but it doesn't last long. Like I possess myself and say demons did it. African privilege. It's not my fault. It was the demons. That's what I find fascinating about my parasite theory. Like I was saying, it's like, could it actually be a reality that we could actually have a rational justification for saying something like, it's not me, it's the parasite, you know? Because like you could easily make the argument that some kind of parasitic, not entity, organism could symbiotically attach itself to a human's nervous system and like body or whatever and influence us in a particular way that and in such a way that we don't even know it's there, like I think just the way there tends to be a physical in real life example of metaphysical things. It's like as above so below, like just like there's like a etheric version of evil, i.e., Satan or the devil or the dark one or any whatever label you want to put on it. down here in the physical, in the temporary, I think we face something like very real. I think there is actually like, I'm not 100, obviously I'm not 100% on it, like, do you know what I mean? But like, I really do think there's a high like when you look at a lot of things like Venom, like Spider-Man's Venom and it being called the symbiote and it coming from space. When you look at things like, how those parasites take over, like in real life, how those parasites take over praying mantises and fucking, snails and ants and stuff, like certain fungi and shit can like parasitically take over the nervous system of a creature and stuff like that. Um, Things like cordyceps, I think they're real. That's what like the game Left 4 Dead was based on. There is a lot of evidence, and then there's a lot of gravy surrounding the theory that at some point in history, mankind came in contact with some sort of parasitic organism, maybe in the snow, that turns humans into a different kind of human. Just like it turns ants or snails or praying mantises into something that looks like an ant or a snail or a praying mantis, but actually contained within is this completely different organism with completely different wants, needs, and desires. And like, I think that explains why you look at or interact with certain human beings, and you'd be like, this fucker's not human. You just like look in their eyes, and you're like, they don't look or feel human. You know, like Owen calls them, like the vacated, and it's like that makes sense as well because like they would be vacated, like depending on how deeply the parasite has like woven itself into the nervous system and the mind. Like, do you know what I mean? If you've ever watched Stargate, I mentioned this before. They have like a the Goa'uld, the aliens in Stargate that they like the main alien race that they come across in Stargate. Like they have one of like the black fella Tilk, played by Christopher Judge, the guy who did the voice of fucking Kratos in the last God of War games. Really cool dude. From what I know, like I don't know if he's gone all woke and shit. But great, like great in the series. They have this like serpent in their belly. I can't remember what yeah, they call it the symbiote. They call it the symbiote. So there's a few things like, do you know what I mean? It's like, and when you look at shit like that, it's like, you know, nothing new under the sun, and like all ideas, are coming from the same source and stuff like that. Like, so I'm telling you now, there's like a high, like I would put money on there being an organism in our environment that we have very little knowledge of, you know? Because everybody knows about great whites and, man of war and fucking like all of these famous animals. Like, do you know what I mean? You have all these famous organisms, famous creatures and stuff like that. But just like everything else that's famous or not famous, like people, there's things that have been kept from us and there's things that aren't spoken about. And I can imagine the reason for that is just like the devil, it's like the greatest trick he ever pulled was convincing us that he's not real, you know? Well, what if half of us or more are infected with this fucking parasite? And that's one of the main reasons for all this like obscene behavior, you know? It's fascinating to think of. Like it would make a fucking great video game or movie. Because it's already kind of been done, in various things. Like, well, not so much Stargate, because it's like I don't think they made those symbiotes out to be like some kind of like bad thing. Like, if anything, the Goa'uld like worship them as gods or some shit. What's the next tune on the list? Okay. Oh yeah, right. Okay. Fucking, I'm here like an hour and 20 minutes, and I haven't done a single bit of painting. Iron Man Bear would be furious. Uh, Right, we'll go straight into the fucking retro dark wave tunes. We'll go straight into raving goo instead of doing painting goo. I'll slap some extra fucking shit in this. Put a fucking some words in the speech bubble, some speech in the bubble. Do some firepower coming out of these turrets. 40 minutes. Yeah, I'd say I could finish this in 40 minutes. Fuck's sake! Don't do this to me. You're gonna fuck me live on stream. You fucking serious? Yes. Lift off. Right. Tunes. Okay. It came from the 80s. It from came from the 80s, volume 2. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. I know you want to advertise your shit on my stream, but I will not allow it. I will not allow it. Right. Actually, before we he's back like herpes. I have returned. Um, the Hobbit feet let me know they were Irish and the pipe. Yeah, like it's so obvious. Like, are we half demon, half angel? Sometimes I think so. Yeah, like that's one of the reasons why my favorite game series is Devil May Cry, is because it explores that idea that like there are like hybrids, demigods and stuff like that. And like, I'd well believe that shit. Like, there's also like I have a theory that God and Satan could actually very well be men from a distant past who were like master alchemists. Because I think you can spawn a realm, not even playing. I think you can create a realm and you don't have to be a god, You just have to know how minerals, like how like materials, how they work. Like the fundamental elements like fire, water, like, and then you get electricity and stuff like that. It's like if you know how all this shit works, like frequency, vibration, and all how the elements interact with each other and stuff like that. Like I'm telling you now that there's probably a way where you can seed a whole realm, like out of the remember the start of that movie Prometheus, where your man is like in a place that looks barren and desolate, but there's water, and like he fucking eats that, he swallows that like fucking liquid or whatever, and he just like fucking dissolves into the water, and then the whole fucking planet like spawns and shit. Like, I am telling you now, I think God and Satan could actually be real dudes from our long past that seeded this realm, and like it's just everything between that point and now is just monkey whispers. It's just fucking monkey whispers. It's like, well, this happened, and then 100 years later, it's like, well, what actually happened, and then 100 years later, like I think it could totally be that, like, And I'm not saying that there isn't anything supernatural or there isn't like a grand metaphysical creator or force or something like that. Like, I do believe in that also. But I don't think there's any reason why this realm we exist in particular, with the whole ice wall and all that shit, I don't see why there couldn't be a scenario where if you just go back in time and you were able to witness, you know, go back as far as you can, like, you know what I mean, like fucking like, because they've fucked with history so much. It's like the timeline's probably fucking all over the place. Like, I wouldn't be fucking surprised if this whole place is like fucking 7,000 years old or some shit like that, and was created by men, who just knew more shit than we did. Like, um, yeah, another jinx. What the fuck? What was the first one? Like, it's why I love going on rants and people like my rants, but then I look at the chat and I'm like, what are you talking about? My ex tried taking me over. Think she was from the outer space. Oh, you fucking nearly married a body snatcher. The Guauld. Tilk. Yeah, like fuck it, man. A great show. Great fucking show. Um, this has been brilliant today. Thanks, Defender. Oh, no worries. Like, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thanks for staying. Thanks for tuning in. You're welcome. Uh, Indeed, Defender, great stuff. You honor me with your comments. Um, oh my God, I love this theory: Satan and God, knowledge-based godliness. Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you go down the alchemical route, if you go down just the alchemical route, and you're talking about a master alchemist, right? I've heard that the magnum opus, the ultimate objective of a master alchemist, is to seek the creation of something called the rebus, which is the hermaphrodite, which is the chemical combination of male and female in a singular form, and it has both properties. What is that? Satan, right? So, what if a master alchemist created this realm to be able to have somewhere to put a rebus, you know? And what if he didn't just make one? What if he made the rebus, which was like Satan, the male and the female, the hermaphrodite, and then all the watchers, all the fucking, well, not were they watchers, all the fallen angels, right? That left with Satan were actually other alchemical creations, but were just male or female, and they followed him down. And their objective was to like seed this place, you know. And just since then, there has just been this like cycle of power trips and like what would fucking power dynamics. You know, this group gets big, wins. This empire rises, falls. They just like back and forth, like fucking playing tennis with empires, like just like ding, 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 and like it's still true. It's like oh, God created heaven and earth. Well, yeah, but what if God was a dude who just knew how to create heaven and earth? like, and I know like that still leaves a lot of questions, but like I don't know. The more you figure out, the more questions you have. Like that's always the fucking thing. Like it's kind of why I'm addicted to that shit. Don't seed me, bro. Oh man. Like fucking some little nigga in prison. It's like, I don't want to be seated. Don't seat me, nigga, please. Oh, fuck. I watched Prometheus about 911 times. I enjoyed the first one. I didn't see, what was the other one? Covenant. I didn't see Covenant. I think that's what it was called. I saw Prometheus and I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. I really liked David. I really liked David in it. I thought he was deadly. I'm after putting me rag somewhere. Fuck. A moment. Right, look. I'm like a fucking contortionist in this place. Right. Yeah, good movie. Um, Defender Bear is doing unadulterated crushing. And I haven't even started painting yet. Aesthetic was the jinx. Etheric was the jinx. Nice. Buy me a Coke. Uh, the ether is real, and we are missing out on so much wonderful stuff. Yeah, but that's why I think it's like, you should be careful with hallucinogenics and shit like that. Like, I've never tripped. Like, I've been high, I've been drunk, stuff like that. Like, but I've never like tripped. I've never like hallucinated and like saw stuff and all. Like, and like with my imagination, man, I probably shouldn't, you know? I wouldn't be surprised if I went a bit mad if I did that shit. Like, just kind of like tweaked out a bit. Like, I could probably see I'd probably hallucinate that I'm seeing the face of God and just like snap. Like, just end up in a padded room twitching. Like, um, this realm is fear based, maybe. Look at animals. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of their behavior is based on self-preservation, if not most of it. But then, like, you look at stuff like cows and shit. Like, like I suppose they would have listed fear. I mean, does that in itself tell you that like animals aren't like that far detached from us? Like animals definitely have souls, but they're like a different kind of soul. Like they're conscious, but they're not as conscious. You know, like anybody who's owned a dog knows that like every individual animal has a personality, even if it's like a zebra. It's like, oh, they're all the same. Like, do you know, but no, not really. Like, do you know what I mean? I did shrooms, lost my ability to tell time passing. Oh my god. Just like time became like you became unaware of time. That's horrible. Yeah, I've heard of that shit where like somebody like trips balls and they come out of it, they sober up and they feel like they've been gone for like 100 years. Like what the fuck would that feel like? Like, do you know what I mean? Like an episode of Star Trek or something where they like fuck with your brain. Like fuck, man. Like, do you know, you have all these memories that aren't real, all these experiences that never happened, or are they real and did they happen, but just not here? You know, like it's so fucked to think about that shit. Like, I thought I was gonna be tripping forever. That's so fuck. That's terrifying. Like, that's fucking terrifying. Being like, oh my god, this is never gonna end, but then it eventually does. Like, oh god. Oh fuck! Right, tunes, paint. Fucking. I only have half an hour left. I have other shit to do today. Fuck's sake. Right, raving goo. What am I doing? Right, I need black. Bit of liquid nigger to start the painting goo. Then my girlfriend's mate started melting. Oh my god. Fuck, man. I remember a mate of mine said that he was tripping balls one time and he saw a load of like bright pink elephants flying around the room with like little wings and all. Oh, mad shit! Like I've heard some mad shit. Like, oh yeah, and if you want to know why the tip ball is so unhygienic looking, it's because I use it as an ashtray. That's how little respect I have for little bitch bear there. I use his tip collecting ball as an ashtray. And I let Carlos kick the shit out of him now and again. Don't I, Carlos? Yes. Right. Time to get this bitch wet! Put her all the way in so the hair reaches the bottom of the barrel. Then put her halfway out and you beat the shit out of her. Then use your royal rag to get rid of all the evidence. LGBTQ elephant in the room. Have you heard of a guy on Instagram called Is the Bruce? And instead of saying LGBTQ or whatever, he says like LGBHDTV. Oh. Man, all this shit is not long for the world. It's too fucking funny, like. Right, what's the ninja saying? I wanted him saying something, you know, just a one-liner. The outline needs to be redone. It's not black enough. There we go. Make room for the mushrooms. I probably will, like, at some point in my life, like, before I kick the bucket, like, how funny is that? Like, that's on my bucket list. Like, here come the wolves. What? An advertisement on my stream? How dare you? Right. What's what's the ninja saying? Come on, give it to me. He's throwing a giant table at the Czech Republic because they killed his cousin or something. I think that's what happened. But you have no honor. That'd probably do the trick. If you don't suggest anything in the next 10 seconds, I'm just gonna go with that. You have no honor. Czech Republic. Oh. Right, that's what we're going with. What popped up there? The female. Female is sending me messages. 20 past 4. Right. You. Well. You have no honor. Czech Republic. I'm obviously not going to fit the whole thing in, but. Can you imagine if I was like kind of like famous on the internet and I had a big following and shit, and I said like I did this painting. It was a giant ninja throwing a giant table at the Czech Republic, saying "You have no honor," and then I get like inundated by tweets and shit that's like, "This guy's saying that Czech Republic have no honor." Like that's racist. Like that's how fucked things are these days. Like people would look at something like this and be like, he's making a political statement about Czech Republic. Like, Dairy Gold can go fuck off. I fucking use Kerrygold because it's real butter. Bags. That'll work. What you said. You have no honor. It's just gonna say you have no honor. It was meant to pan out that way. Checkmate. It's like, oh fuck, that would have been so much better, man. I was smaller too. Oh. Oh fuck, that's so funny. Checkmate. Oh, that's brilliant. It's like, I kind of want to put a speech bubble coming out of the boat now or something like, or maybe one of the buildings just says checkmate. Like, it's like, oh, that's hilarious. God damn it, Anthony! Why didn't you get that to me quicker? Like, that's fucking hilarious. Oh god. Yeah, these cannon blasts need to be a bit more cannon blasty, if you get me. You get me? In the You get me? In the blob. Oh! Fucking this was a tight bitch, this was. Gonna get this fucking thing off. Yeah.
What the devil is that?
Setting up an
Get the fuck off my stream, you cunt. It's the most polite way I could put it. Honestly. I'll fucking see you later, you cunt. Get the fuck off my stream. Ruining the tunes. Fucked bastards. Get it into you. Half the orange part of the flamme.
Yeah.
Is it a new world, or will it consume us all?
We sit in the sun, in haze, we sleep, and we dream. Each of us dying slowly, the prison of our minds. We sit in the sun,
We dream.
we sleep,
Can I share this? Yeah, man. Totally.
each of us dying slowly, the prison.
Do what you want, nigga.
If you smell gas at home,
If I
don't
smell
ignore it.
gas, I'm gonna blame you, you fat
No
bitch.
matter
That's
who your
what.
gas supplier is.
How'd you like that for a fucking bucket of soldiers? If you smell gas, I'll fucking blame you. That's what I'll fucking do. Yeah, it's much better looking. Yeah. They didn't look like firepower, you know, they were kind of pale looking. I'm not finished with this. I've only got 10 minutes left. I can put adverts are hard going. Like, I know it's fucking funny though. Like one of my mates said he's not even a bear. Like he just drops in now and again. But he said one of his favorite parts about me like my streams is me like giving loads of shit to the ads. So it's like fuck it. Like I'll just keep doing it and all. Like because part of me was like, will I get YouTube Premium so I don't get ads and all? Like, but it is kind of a funny bit to just like give dogs abuse to the advertisements so they come on. Like every time the StreamYard one comes on. It's like, hi, I'm Dana from StreamYard. I'm like, fuck you, Dana! I fucking hate you, Dana! You fucking slut! I said on one of the streams, it was like, if I ever meet that young one in real life, I'm just gonna be like, I'm so sorry. She'd be like, why? Who the fuck are you? What did you do? Oh, God. Right, yeah, the flak cannons. The flak cannons need a bit of work. I can do that in 10 minutes. I can totally do that in 10 minutes. Paintingu, paintingu, paintingu. Do 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 do. What the hell are you looking up here? Sun's looking a bit pale.
See you later, Luke.
I'll fucking see you later! And I'll fucking fuck Luke too! Fucking bitch! Going to the doctors because it's driving me mad. Imagine, like, I don't know what to do, they just won't leave me alone. Keep telling me to buy stuff. I don't want to buy stuff. I'd say some people would watch this stream and be like, Jesus, he'd want to get his blood pressure checked. They're constantly fucking roaring and shouting. Oh. Like, I do get that too. I get that off Wishy. I completely relate to Owen with that shit. It's like, oh, why are you getting so angry? You think this is angry? Bitch! Like, you don't want to see me angry. Like, fuck green! I'm like a black hole! Like, it's everywhere! Darkness! And burn it all! Like, sorry. That's how you know you're not actually angry. Like, fuck! Sorry. If you were actually angry, you'd just be losing it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh. And it is funny. It's fucking hilarious. Like, where'd I put the white? Ah, bollocks. I put it over there somewhere. Fuck. Oh. I still got time. Oh. Yeah, those clouds are looking a bit. I get so distracted. Just want to keep painting this. Why did I get the white out there? What do I need? Oh yeah, I was going to make some grey and redo the turrets. That's what I was going to do. Okay. Oh, I already have black. Okay. Running a bit low on the old black. Have to get more. Yeah, there's going to be a part 6 of this one. I'm not done with this. We could totally fit more shit in this. We could even I could put like a katana and like a ninja star belt on the fucking ninja, and I'll like maybe put something on the table, like hanging off the table, being thrown. So yeah, we'll leave it there for the moment. But I'll be returning to this tomorrow. What day is today? Thursday. Yeah, we'll finish it tomorrow. Right. So this has been PEINTEINGU. Fucking pop-ups ruining my outro. How dare you? As I was saying, I have been Defenderu. This has been PEINTEINGU. I hope you enjoyed Ingu. In the meantime, until tomorrow, be good, be true, and be beautiful. Same time, tomorrow, same place, same high-octane painting energy. You've never watched paint dry like this before. Until then, God bless you. Support the stream. Link in description.